Hello, welcome to an episode of QUIZME with Quibski. This is the Cloud Practitioner edition. So in this video, we'll cover Cloud Practitioner topics and questions that may or may not show in the exam. So our guest today is Roland.
Hi guys, I'm Roland Patalinjug. I'm an Alexa developer. So if you're familiar with Alexa, it's the voice assistant that you can ask to play songs or ask to tell you the weather. So I can build skills that I can customize skills to have it say what you want, or if you want to have a particular flow in the conversation, that I can do that for you. So I've been doing this for almost 2 years now on AWS. Then just got my certification last November for Cloud Practitioner, and currently preparing for the specialist certification. I'm hoping to get it in the next few months.
Right.
Yeah, so
I like Alexa. I use it for my lights. I say, Alexa, turn off the lights, turn on the lights, turn it to blue or red. Yes, or disco mode.
yeah, disco mode.
Disco mode, yes. So, Roland, are you ready for our 5 quiz?
Yeah, I'm ready and excited. So I
Excited.
hope I can answer your very hard questions.
Very hard. Hopefully, it's not that hard. Okay, let's start. Which of the following support plans provides access to all AWS Trusted Advisor service checks? A. Business Enterprise. B. Developer. C. Basic.
Okay. So from what I know, that business enterprise is the highest level of support plans, while developer is, or there's a business, and I think business and enterprise are different plans, right? So those are two plans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's an enterprise plan and there's a business plan.
Yes. Actually, that's true.
Yeah. So developers below those two, and basic is when you make your first AWS account, you get the basic plan right off the bat. So AWS Trusted Advisor Service Check, it when you run that, it checks all your buckets permissions, right? And
That's one of its functions,
and
yes.
checks your IAM accounts, if
Mhm.
they have admin, which ones have admin, and also I only got two so far. What are the other three?
There's actually a lot, no?
Yeah, there's actually
yes.
a lot, but those two I'm familiar with. So I'm guessing that right now. I'm just guessing. So I think the business and enterprise support plans would have all of the features covered in AWS Trusted Advisor. So A is my first answer.
All right. So let's see if it is A, business and enterprise, or enterprise. That's correct. Yeah, developer and basic just covers the 7 checks.
Yeah.
Well, there's more when for the rest. Okay, second question. A company is currently applying an on-demand EC2 instance, which they plan to move to a reserved EC2 instance to save on costs. Which of the following is the most cost-efficient option if they would to use the hosting service for more than 3 years?
Yeah, so
Please read the option.
Okay, so no upfront standard reserved instance pricing for 1 year term that is renewed every year.
That's the first option. Second option.
So, keywords from those are standard reserved instance and 1 year. Next option is all upfront standard reserved instance pricing for a 3 year term. So same with the first one. No, it's different because no upfront, then all upfront. 3 is all upfront convertible reserved instance pricing for a 1 year term. And D is no upfront convertible reserved instance pricing for a 3-year term. So AWS usually gives discounts when you reserve instances for a longer period. So it's either 3, so, no, so when you reserve for a longer period, there's a discount, but when you pay upfront, there's even a cheaper price compared to not paying upfront. So I think B is the answer.
Yes, B is the answer.
Yeah.
Is your answer? Let's see. That's correct. No? Standard reserve instance versus convertible. Standard because you already know what you want,
Yeah.
and it's long term, and it's also upfront. That combination gives you the best cost savings in the reserve instance family.
Okay.
Okay, next question. Can the metadata be encrypted in S3?
Of course.
Of course. Okay, let's
Pero
see.
how?
Let's see how. Okay.
Oh, daming ways dyan.
All right, please read the options.
Yeah, so option A is yes, all data in S3 can be encrypted.
2.
Yes, if you put the metadata in the DynamoDB table and enable encryption during creation. C, yes, all data is encrypted if you select S3 server-side encryption. And D, put the metadata in its own bucket. Yeah, so I have not tried any encryption yet. I'm usually when I make store objects in S3, they're not encrypted. I just manage the access. So this is new to me. I'd just be eliminating options. I think D and C are not options because it's too complicated, and B is if you put metadata in a DynamoDB table and enable encryption during creation. So can I call a friend for this one?
Call a friend. All right, sure. Call a friend. Who would you like to call? Audience? The audience. Call the audience.
So
So
Brian is talking right now.
The
He's
audience,
gonna
okay.
give us his idea.
so
A friend, please approach this.
okay.
Call a friend.
Can you help us out, Brian?
Yes, I can. So, definitely number 2 and number 4 are already complicated solutions. So I don't think AWS will put us to very complicated solutions like that.
Mhm.
I know for a fact that you can encrypt data in S3 using the KMS or the client provided keys as well as server side encryption. And number 1, yes, all data in S3 can be encrypted. So I think 2 and 4 are wrong. And 3 looks like the most likely answer there. So I think 3 yan.
Okay. Friend, is this your answer?
Yes, that's my
Okay,
answer.
let's see.
Trusty Brian.
No!
Wrong.
No!
So the answer here is number 2. You have
No.
so S3. The data itself in S3 can be encrypted upon creation, but the metadatas themselves are not. And it's all about basically metadatas are about the file creation, the information, the type of data, and so metadata itself has
Okay,
to
Brian.
be.
Thanks.
It's hard to encrypt by on its own default. So what you can do there is you can use the key, have another service that has encryption to store your metadata about the data. And so that's why you would need another service called something like DynamoDB or other options to store and encrypt your metadata about the objects.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. You have a new requirement for your application that provides a server setup for up to 4 months for a short period of time. Which sort of instance would be the most cost effective? Option A, on-demand instance. Option B, partial upfront reserved instance. Option C, reserved instance.
Yes.
Option D, spot instance.
Yeah, so those all for real instances. You mentioned, sir, that when in the exam, AWS doesn't provide imaginary services, right?
Yes.
All are legit.
Yes, all answers are legit.
Yeah. So so on-demand instance means you can turn it on and off anytime. In the question it says it doesn't mention anything about needing a particular time of day to run. Because when you say some questions for spot instances, they say an instance that doesn't need to run on that doesn't need to run 24 hours. It could be an instance that can run for like a few hours, then cut off, then resume at another time. So that kind of questioning would be for a spot instance. A reserved instance would ask for something like needing to run 24 hours, 24/7. So it's not a reserved instance. And partial upfront reserved instance. Again, the question doesn't mention anything about running 24/7. So if you were to run something within 4 months, you don't need to reserve it for the entire 4 months. You just have to run it on demand. So I think the answer is A, on demand.
On demand. Okay, is this your final answer?
Yes.
Final answer. Let's see. On demand. That's correct. Okay, next question. What is it that edge locations do? A. Provide redundant backup to your AWS service. B. Host a content delivery network called CloudFront. C. Provide disaster recovery service. And D. Provide independent power grids to availability zones.
Okay, so let's go through each one again. I think A doesn't. An edge location is not where you store your backup. You store your backup usually in another availability zone.
It can be another availability zone, but also you can also do cross-region. So another region would be the better place to put backup.
So B hosts a content delivery network called CloudFront. So this is how you get really fast latencies with your when you're downloading from an S3 bucket or getting files. So edge locations, I think there are more for locations that are far from AWS region or AWS availability zone. What they do is they put edge location and connect that to the availability zone so that they'll get better response time. So that's what an edge location is. So I think the answer is B. And let's just go through D and C. Provide disaster recovery services. No. So C is similar to A when it's saying something about a backup. Then D. I don't think AWS provides and calls their independent power grids edge location. So I think, yeah, so going back, B is my final answer.
All right, B. So final answer, CloudFront?
Yeah.
Yes, CloudFront is the answer. Edge location serves as point of presence. And so there you are, your Cloud Practitioner ready with a score of 4 out of 5. Yeah. Right, so as we end this show, so basically you've been a Cloud Prac now. What's next for you?
Yeah, so besides the Alexa specialist certification, I'm also looking into SA or DevOps. So I think 1 year would be enough to get those 3 certificates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I think 1 year, considering the time and effort it takes, because you can't, just like with the Cloud Prac,
Mm.
even though if I was using AWS for quite a while, I still needed to study up, review on the other services, take practice exams. Because for anyone who's trying to get a certification, um, it's not that easy. You still need to put some effort in and the time. When I was taking it, I was doing it under Sir Rafi's tutorial, so it took us around. We had around 3 to 4 sessions with labs and tutorials, and we had to study. So it cost a lot to take the exam, around 5K
Yes.
for the
$100.
Yeah, $100. So you don't want to throw away your $100 and also your time and effort in doing that. So when you take the exam, just prepare and make sure you are ready when you take it. Yeah,
All right.
because you can always reschedule.
You can always reschedule. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, guys, to always like and subscribe. We also have our website, and also check out our Facebook and Meetup pages. Yay!
Bye, guys.
Bye.